like the movie Sliding Doors. You know, it's like, what if you had stayed in Chicago? Maybe I could have afforded something bigger than
done something.
Walk-in
my
closet.
My also did a similar thing. It's like we could live in a city. We definitely make enough money to like live well enough, and no, we're gonna live in Live Oak in the middle of Florida, where it's just woods and swamp, and like, it's just full of like, it's full of like, like I've got, I mean, right now I'm not in Live Oak anymore, but these people would have definitely fit in. I've got people flying Confederate flags. They got Confederate flags, Adirondack chairs out on the porch. Like
that's our peoples.
It's crazy. So,
yeah, I got some down there too. I got probably some of mine are selling those flags down there. I wouldn't be surprised.
Selling those flags. Yeah, I mean,
hey, they're making money.
Met some of my kin, I guarantee. We've got Breland streets over there in those neck of the woods. So
I told you. I think I've told you that there were some Brelands in Wiggins where I lived. So
yeah, you probably knew Joey. Joey Breland was over in Wiggins for a period of time. That's my cousin.
That name sounds familiar. But you said you didn't know who Joey Von Trell was, right? You didn't know Von Trell Breland.
Dude, my father had 7 brothers and sisters. Like, I've got enough cousins to like keep up with that. I've got to go through the whole like genealogy and go pull up, like my gene sequencing and go, okay, there was this one and like, this one, and there was a guy who would just walk down the street and like ask for fights on Sundays.
Right.
There's that guy, and like, that's documented like somewhere on paper that's what he did, which is just what? Like he just walked down the street, knocked on a car door. Hey, you want to fight? Like, okay.
And the reason they put down Hunter S. Thompson, period.
Yeah, yep. Exactly.
Like I know. Like we had the Speedy guy around our place. His name was James Smith, I think. He's no longer with us. R.I.P. Speedy. But Speedy was this. He was this dude that he was like one of these guys. He was like 45 for like 20 years. Anyway, and so his deal was, because he once he hit 45, he became the Highlander, and he never aged. He always just stayed the same. He never got gray hair or nothing. But he was always all around town. He never drove or anything like that. He was like, he would walk everywhere. Granted, Wiggins is not exactly,
it's
slope.
Like 3 stoplights. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It literally does. Well, it has 4 now, but when I was there, 3. So
it has 4 now. Yep.
Yeah, it's 4. Yep. Progress. Who says it doesn't come down south, right? But yeah, man. Speedy was the guy. He always worked at the Piggly Wiggly as a bag boy, and he would run people's shit out to their car in the buggies, and he was always quick, and he was like, that dude was a fucking machine, man. And he got there and he got fat stacks for tips, man. Them old ladies were like, here you go, Speedy. I don't know if Speedy was Speedy in the sack, but he was getting them stacks from them ladies at least. So he wasn't no looker though. He was kind of like, he was like real tan, but he had kind of like this onion looking head. It was kind of weird, but
Piggly Wiggly's the place you can get smoked turkey neck and pickled hog feet.
That guy would go into like dumpsters and stuff like that and look for like treasures and shit, like knives and like tools and shit like that. I worked with him at. Yes. I got a taste because I worked with him at this pizza joint.
I like how that's what you think of is in the trash can. Like what you think of is knives and like what was it was like knives and guns.
Tools.
Like, is that what you? What are you throwing away? Like. I'm
not throwing it away, but he would go through this guy was like, if there was an apocalypse, this guy was going to be, him and the roaches were going to be kings of this joint.
Would have been fine. Yeah.
He knows that he was like a scavenger, like super scavenger. Like if he had a super
like what
power.
MacGyver should be.
Yeah, he's like McScavenger.
You'd rather MacGyver be that guy. Yeah.
He's McScavenger because he can scavenge anything, and he doesn't age. He just stopped aging at 45. He's probably like about, I don't know, maybe like 4'10". He was a little bitty dude, but I mean, he was speeding all over the place. But so everybody, like you said, everybody's got the town.
You take 2 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches, and, like, you know, and a bottle cap. Like, what?
I went to high school with this guy, Gus. He was one of the football players. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Wanted a convertible, so he took a chainsaw and cut the roof off his car.
Nice.
And Gus was driving around the Sonic one night. He was cruising the Sonic in his new caddy, his new Cadillacs on 22s.
Drop top.
Only like looked like the fucking Kurgan ripped off his fucking hood, his roof, and he's driving around. You're like, dude, what'd you do to your car?